Hello, everybody. I am Aleah James, and this is the Fans View podcast.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Fans View podcast. Today, I'm so excited. Today's guest is a former NXT UK star who's currently tearing it up on the independent scene. Born in England, she's been a steadily rising star, not just in her home country overseas, but here in the States. Since debuting in 2019, she's already built an impressive resume and just a reputation for delivering match of the night quality matches every time she goes out there. Please welcome to the show, Miss Aleah James. Aleah, how are you doing today?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I'm so good. I'm so excited that we can make this happen. I know I've bugged you at like every convention I've seen you at for the past 2 years. Like, hey, Aleah, you want to come on my podcast? And you were so sweet and gracious with your time. So I just want to make sure I say thank you.
Thank you.
We'll just jump into it because I know your time is very precious. For fans who might be discovering you somehow, I don't know where they would be living under a rock somewhere, but for people discovering you for the first time, how would you kind of describe Aleah James both in and out of the ring?
Well, I think inside the ring, maybe I'm the underdog, but I'm always ready for whoever's in the ring with me, and I'll give it whatever I've got, no matter what it takes. Outside the ring, I'm similar. I'm fun, and maybe I'm a little bit more reserved, but it's pretty much just an extension of me. I like to be fun. I like to be athletic. I like sparkly things, pink things. So I guess it's the same, really, just in a different format.
I love that. That's such a good segue too, because they say that pro wrestlers, the best pro wrestlers, are people that take their natural personality and maybe just turn the volume up. How much of Aleah James in the ring, you kind of touched on it, but how much of that persona in the ring is just you with the volume turned way up?
Yeah, I think at first when you first start, you are trying to figure out what parts of you want to show, and I feel like as time's gone on, I've realized that you're able to, I don't know, perform and pull out all the stops, and I feel like that's the part of me that shows in the ring too.
Absolutely. Let's take it back. What first drew you to professional wrestling? Have you always been a fan?
Yeah, so I always watched it when I was younger, and I guess also being from the UK, I didn't realize that there was even an independent wrestling scene. I didn't know that there was wrestling in the UK. So I always just assumed that if I wanted to wrestle, I had to move to America, or the only thing that existed was WWE in my eyes at that time. But
Right.
when I was, yeah, it was like 2017 or 2018. I have an older sister who also likes wrestling, and she found a training school in the UK, and she went to it, and I was very jealous because I was like, I want to do that. So that's actually how I found a training school at home to start my.
Was there a moment again, you kind of touched on it. You are the perfect segue queen. But was there a moment when you're like, I'm going to take this seriously and pursue this as a career as opposed to maybe a hobby or just something you enjoyed watching?
That's a good question. Well, I worked on just a normal job in an optician's, and I was training like 3 days a week. I was going to the gym before work and then going to training after work and having 5, 6 hours of sleep. And I was thinking to myself, if I really want to do this, maybe I have to quit my job and just fully commit to it. But just before I decided to do that, COVID happened. So I'm very grateful that I didn't quit my job, because I managed to keep earning money during lockdown. And then after lockdown happened is when I joined NXT UK. So that kind of just blended into my desire to take it seriously and treat it as a full-time job.
Right. Yeah, there's no bigger pool to jump into than that WWE machine.
Exactly.
uh, what were some of those early days like breaking into that UK, scene? Were there any challenges maybe that you didn't expect that you came across?
Yes, injuries. I didn't expect that. I guess maybe when you're working and you work a job that's in the daytime at the weekends and you're trying to figure out how to swap shifts with your lovely co-workers that maybe don't have the same passion or drive for your hobbies. Um, I managed to get away with having a lot of sick days where I wasn't in fact sick, but that's probably the parts of it that I didn't consider. But in terms of wrestling, in terms of training, that was always fun for me, and I always enjoyed that so much. And I was willing to get myself into trouble to make it work.
Well, we're glad you did. Um, I know I speak for a lot of people. Fans loved your run in NXT UK, whether, the fact that it was cut short, with the brand doing what it did. What was that chapter like for you, that NXT UK chapter?
Honestly, it was so much fun. I know that a lot of people were in different stages of their career during their time at NXT UK, but for me, it was just bonus points. It was learning, it was making friends, it was being put in situations that I didn't believe I was ready for, but still did it anyway. So I'm just always grateful for that time of my life because I think I was able to be a part of something that people will always remember. And even if they don't know of it, they'll look back and watch it. And I'm just happy that I was one of the few people that can say that they did that.
Absolutely. We kind of touched on the WWE machine that you got to be a part of. Obviously, you were there for a little bit. What would you say was your biggest takeaway from working for the WWE and specifically NXT UK? Like, what did you learn while you were there?
What did I learn? Well, I learned a lot of things, but I think that I learned a lot about myself and that I'm able to thrive in stressful situations, and that it doesn't matter how ready you feel for something, you just have to do it. And my knowledge of wrestling at that point was very limited. I'd done indie shows and obviously done training schools in the UK, but to be in a TV format and to have matches that are like 3 minutes long and 5 minutes long, and being able to plan those matches and put in all the stuff that you need to fit into a match in such a short space of time, like I think people underestimate how hard that actually is. So um yeah, I learned a lot about TV and about how all of that stuff works very early on, and working to hard cam and different
Exactly.
ways. Yeah, like just different ways that people tend to learn like later on in their career. I was able to learn that early, so definitely very grateful for that.
Yeah, and I'm glad you mentioned that because that was something I wanted to ask you about specifically is, like professional wrestling isn't hard enough. Now you've got to work to the hard cam. You've got to hit these time cues. Like you said, you're on TV. There's not a lot of wiggle room there. So I can't imagine being in your position, being so young in the business still. But
Yeah, I
obviously,
remember like one of my first match, they didn't realize that I hadn't practiced my entrance, so I didn't have one, so I just made it up, and I still do it to this day. I just in that moment I said, "Well, I guess this is what I do," and I just did it.
I love that so much. Um, who were some of your favorite opponents, or maybe is there a moment that sticks out to you? As we kind of wrap up your time in NXT UK.
A moment, I would say, because when I first started wrestling there wasn't any fans.
Hmm.
Maybe the first show that we did that had an audience, that I don't specifically remember who I wrestled. It might have been Nina Samuels, but I just remember feeling I was always nervous and then feeling extra nervous knowing that there were actually people out there that were going to watch us, and it had been so long since I'd had a crowd. So yeah, that moment was fun.
Yeah.
Hey, you. Yeah, watching this right now. I see you. If you're enjoying what you're watching, I've got one quick favor to ask, and it only takes a second, costs you nothing, and makes a huge difference. If you could go ahead and hit that like button, maybe drop a comment. If you haven't already, make sure you're subscribed. Doesn't seem like much, but for small creators, it's everything. So let's help more people find this channel and keep the content coming. And honestly, I'm pretty sure the podcast will be really grateful. So if you're having fun, you like what you see, make it official, click those buttons, and the Fans View podcast, we'll see you next time.
Yeah. Would you consider COVID maybe the hardest thing you've done in pro wrestling to date?
No. COVID was actually COVID was very easy.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. I think the hardest thing I've done to date is probably after NXT UK, I took a year off of any shows, and I would say the hardest thing was coming back to wrestling after that, because I hadn't done it in so long, and I think in my head, thought that everybody thought I should know more or should be at this level that I didn't see myself at, and then trying to wrestle to a level that I think everyone is expecting of me, but it was actually just me doing that to myself. Having to go through that emotional roller coaster, that was probably the hardest thing.
For sure. Again, you are the segue queen. Who knew you were so good at this? Since leaving NXT, you've shown back up on the indies after taking some time off. What's the biggest difference for you coming back to that world after, being on television and doing all that, but now you're back on the independent scene? What's been the biggest, culture shock difference?
I think when I started up again, I started in the UK, and I did that for about like 4 or 5 months, and then I think maybe it was going over to America, and the wrestling style is different, and everybody plans differently, and everybody's looking to add something different to their matches, and I think that for me was the hardest adjustment. I love wrestling in the UK. I love all the girls that I get to work with. I love the girls in America, but their style is very different. So I guess for me it was like just figuring out how to blend it all successfully and give myself grace and give my opponent grace, and just learn from each matchup that I'm in.
Absolutely. I love that answer. Do you think that you approach matches differently now than compared to the start of your career? Like, how has your mindset, and your style changed?
Oh, it's very different. Like, I used to have to look at my phone just to know what it was that I even did. I didn't even know what I was doing. I guess when I first started, I had so many people around me that were determined to help me, which I'm so grateful for. But it took a lot of the thinking out of it, and it took a lot of like any of my ability out of it. All I knew is that when I got in there, I could do it, but I didn't know what I was doing.
Right.
But now I think I have an idea of what I'm doing. I hope.
Well, I love watching you do it. Whatever it is you're doing, we certainly enjoy watching it.
Thank you.
One thing I've always wanted to ask you, because I always see you and you're always so sweet, and you're such a baby face in real life. Do you enjoy being that energetic white meat baby face, or is there part of you that just wants to be that deep, dark, dastardly heel?
I do think I enjoy being a babyface because I don't know, I like people liking me. I don't know if I'd be able to handle people not liking me. I think I'd be good at it. I don't know why. I just think it'd be fun, but I just like being the one that people cheer for. I'm not sure. That's a good feeling to me.
Love that. I don't know that I could boo you anyway. You're just so nice. And I genuinely mean that you're just so nice. What promotions or opponents, obviously, like I said, you are full steam ahead on all over the country, all over the world. I think you just got back from overseas, right?
I did, yeah, the other day.
There's a plethora of ladies, on the independent scene. Are there maybe a couple names or promotions that stick out to you that you're like, I gotta get here, I gotta get in the ring with ...
That's a good question. I really love Marina's style, and I would love to wrestle her, and I feel like she's such a good character, and she's got such a unique wrestling style, and I feel like her aggression and scariness mixed with my niceness it might be an interesting matchup. So I would always love to wrestle her and see what we could make together.
Yeah, I like that. I like that a lot, actually.
Yeah.
If we could go big picture, your dream match, any era, any person. It doesn't have to be a realistic one. Who is your dream opponent?
My dream opponent will always be Mickie James, because she is someone I was obsessed with when I first started wrestling, and when I first started watching wrestling. She was like what drew me to always tuning in. And back in the time when you didn't know what was on or who was on, you didn't know if there was any women's matches or anything. But I was always hoping, just please, just one little Mickie James match. I don't care how long or short it is.
I love that. Obviously, you're a young woman in this business. You still have many and many years ahead of you. But when it's all said and done, people think about Aleah James. What do you want your legacy to be?
I don't know. I feel like maybe in watching wrestling, maybe just somebody that was interesting or fun to watch, and maybe for the people that are around me, just somebody that was helpful or kind or put a smile on their face, just something like that. I don't know. I don't really care about whether people thought my matches were amazing or not. I just wanted people to remember them as fun, or remember me as fun, because I don't know, I feel like that lasts longer in people's minds more than whatever the hell moves you did or how many times you won or lost, because I've lost a lot of times.
And we still love you for it. So you're on the right track. You're on the right track. So this is the Fans View podcast. I'm just a regular fan, and I love talking to people in the professional wrestling world and kind of getting to know them a little bit beyond the ring. And my last two questions, I feel like, really encapsulate that. The first one being, this is the Fans View podcast. What are you a fan of when you're not in the ring?
Fan of? I'm a fan of CrossFit. I love CrossFit.
We see that on your Instagram. My goodness.
I like, when I first got into it, I would just watch the CrossFit documentaries every day before I trained to be like, okay, I can do it. I need to get in the zone. If they can lift 1 million kg, then I can lift 5. I'll be okay.
My goodness. You are built differently. I will say that.
I enjoy the death.
Is there anything else you enjoy? Like, are you a reader? Are you a TV binge watcher? Anything like that?
You know what? I used to watch a lot of shows, but now I've really got into trying to make my own gear. I've made a few sets, but I would love to be able to make stuff for other people. I just need to get more confident in my abilities. But I do tend to spend a lot of evenings just researching different things and trying out different things with my sewing machine that my lovely friends bought me. So yeah, I guess that's just something that I would love to naturally segue into next, so that I'm still in and around it, even if I'm not doing it anymore.
Absolutely. I love that. That's such a baby face answer too. Like, I just like working out and doing my sewing. That's all. I love it. Last but not least, this is my favorite question, and you can go as deep as you want with this or not. At this point in your career, as we spoke, you're a very young woman. You've got God knows what ahead of you. At this stage of you, not only your career but your life, how do you define success?
Ooh, wow. I guess I used to think that it was about like accolades or money. Like, okay, if you're successful, you're a millionaire. Like you
Right.
so much money, you've got so many things, and everybody knows who you are. But I think in specific to wrestling, because that's obviously what I'm doing right now, after having a time off from wrestling and having a break of just being a normal human being and not putting all my time and effort into trying to be successful in wrestling, I think that success to me is being happy and not feeling like you're doing something because you have to. You're doing it because you want to, and
Yes.
getting as far as you can, being truly happy with that. And as soon as I came back to wrestling, I have this, like, I don't know if it's lame, but I have this little book that I put every single match that I've done. Like, after I wrestle, I write the date and the location and the person and the promotion, and I'm only allowed to write something nice about it. Even if I thought it was the worst thing I did, I have to only write one good thing. And to me, because when I look back on that, I'm not going to think about all the little details that, oh, I did this wrong or this happened, whatever. I'm just going to remember the fun that I had and the memories. And that's success to me. It's being able to look at the stuff that you've done and be proud of it, know that you did it the way that you wanted to. I don't know. I feel like that to me is success.
Love it. I appreciate that answer. Aleah, I just want to thank you so much again for coming on. Where can people get a hold of you on social media? 8x10s, t-shirts, that kind of thing. Is there somewhere people can reach out?
Yes, so I have X and Instagram and TikTok at the Aleah James, and I do have a big cartel. I don't know what the name is, but it's on all of my accounts. It has a link tree and it's attached to that, so you can find it on there.
Okay, we'll definitely we'll put the link tree in the description of the YouTube video as well. What do we have coming up? Where can people see Aleah James in the next couple weeks? Do you have any shows coming up?
Yes, so this Friday I am in Chicago at 01. On Saturday I'm at Arche in North Carolina. And next weekend I think it's Pennsylvania. I'm really bad with states. PA, is that Pennsylvania?
PA, yep.
I'll be in
Nice.
Pennsylvania, so yeah, I don't know where I am, but I'll be there.
Check the social medias, guys. That's
Yes.
the best thing to do. Well, like I said, Aleah, thank you so much. This has been just as good as I expected it to be. Hopefully we can have you on again sometime down the road.
Yes, thank you very much for having me.
Guys, make sure you go show Aleah some love. Follow her on all the socials. Check out where she's going to be. If she's going to be in your town, go give her some love. She deserves it. She is our baby face. Come on, guys. Most importantly, guys, give her a follow, show her some love, and most importantly, call your mom.
Yes.
If you haven't liked or subscribed, you're going to be joking me.